The Z Fold 6 has been revealed and we know all the specs, we see all the information about it, so let me get into it. People have been speculating that the Z Fold 6 would be essentially the same phone as the Fold 5 and very similar to the 4 and the 3, and now that we have the actual ads and the marketing, we can see that it's basically that, but you know, with a little differences. So let me break down the differences for you. The first difference is obviously the way that it looks. It's going to have a more boxy and squared off design with sharper corners, and it's just a little more flat, and the outside screen will be a little bit wider and the hinge will be more slim and more flushed into the frame, so it's not sticking out as much as the Fold 5 and nowhere near as much as the 3 and the 4. In terms of the actual build quality, the frame is going to be slightly more strong, and going along the lines with durability, the Z Fold 6 also has slight dust resistance. It's technically not even dust resistance. If you look at the IP website, it's really like screws and wires and stuff. It's not really dust resistant. So it has IP48, but really you can't take it to the beach any more than you can take a Fold 5 to the beach. So I mean, having that 4, I guess, makes you feel a little bit more comfortable with the durability and the dust resistance, but it's actually not dust resistant. It's essentially the same, just a different label, I guess. In terms of the internals, we're gonna have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. We already know that information, but it's kind of sad when you think about the ads and the marketing that they have around that. It's literally 19% better in terms of GPU performance and 18% better in terms of CPU performance. Essentially, there's not really that much gains. I feel like, personally, if I'm advertising a product, like I would feel like ashamed to put like 90%, 18% of a difference and, you know, have it called the most immersive gaming experience. Like they're kind of dancing around it because they could have called it the best, but it's not the best gaming experience. So they're calling it the most immersive experience because of the big screen. But in reality, I don't think too much is going to change in terms of like actual gaming performance from the Fold 5 to the Fold 6. I feel like it's going to be very similar. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit faster because it's a new chip. 90% will, you know, impact real world performance, but it's not going to be by that much. Hopefully the thermals is something that we didn't see in the ads that were leaked. Hopefully the thermals are better, but under the hood we got the new CPU, GPU, and it's only like 20% better, and the NPU is like 42% better. So, you know, that has a larger number, but I'm not even sure entirely what the NPU is, so I can't even speak on that. So in terms of the cameras, it looks like it's the same specs. Samsung doesn't really specify like the actual sensors in their ads usually. So it looks like it's the same specs with the 50 megapixel main camera, the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, and the 10 megapixel 3x zoom camera. But the difference that they're stating here is that it has a Pro Visual Engine, so you can now experience even more from your smartphone. Hopefully that actually is probably going to translate to like slightly better photos, like for sure. Usually every year with the folds, the processing and stuff like that gets a little bit better for sure. But the real issue with the Z Fold series cameras, in my opinion, is not necessarily the software. I feel like the software does a pretty good job at, you know, optimizing the images and stuff like that. They could definitely tweak it, tune it down a little bit in certain areas, tune it up in certain areas. But for the most part, I feel like the software is pretty good. What holds the Z Fold series cameras back is the hardware. I feel like the hardware just needs to be a little bit better. A bigger sensor size would be much appreciated. It just gives you a higher level, a higher ceiling of photography and videography. Like with the OnePlus Open, that sensor size combined with the stacked pixels makes it just a really cool, it just makes it a little bit better. It gives a higher ceiling for, you know, photography and stuff like that, natural bokeh and fall off. I feel like that's what we actually need. We don't need like, you know, a new visual processing engine and all that stuff. Then, you know, it's cool. It'll probably help the photos for sure, and the new NPU and all that will definitely help. However, the hardware of the Z Fold series would definitely, you know, take it from here to here. So it's kind of unfortunate that we don't have new cameras on the Z Fold 6. You know, I love my Z Fold series. Z Fold 5 is my favorite phone. It's the phone that I'm maining right now after trying everything out there. And I'm gonna go to the 6. You know, it is what it is. I'm gonna switch to the 6 because it's the Fold 5, but a little bit better. And, you know, they have the trade-ins and all that stuff. Probably gonna get a free watch. I'm gonna sell that watch. So I'm gonna go to that and I'm gonna make videos on it. So, you know, as a YouTuber, I guess there is that too, that aspect of it. But yeah, it's unfortunate. And in terms of other changes, there's not really that much else except for the weight. The weight is going to be lighter. It's going to be 239 grams versus 253 grams from the Fold 5, so that is nice. You know, a lighter phone definitely helps out, and it's gonna be slightly slimmer, but like I would be lying if I said it wasn't like a Fold 5.2 or something like that. Like, it is very similar to the Fold 5 and the 4, and in some ways the 3. I think the 6 is a big jump from the 3. I think the 6 is actually a lot better than the Fold 3, despite what people say, but it is very similar to all of them. And you know, it's unfortunate that we didn't get bigger changes on the Fold 6. Like, I saw all the leaks before this. Normally I don't make these kind of videos. I saw the leaks and I was like, you know, like, it looks unfortunate in terms of the changes, but I didn't want to like believe it until like the last minute. And who knows, maybe this is all like a co-op. Maybe this is not true. These ads that were leaked, maybe it's fake. Somebody mocked it up really professionally. Hopefully Samsung, you know, on that stage on July 10th, they announced like some cool stuff that we don't know. They announced a bigger battery, better camera hardware. Hopefully, I'm hoping, I'm praying, you know, we get the S Pen support on the front screen or something crazy like that. Hopefully this is not it, but it's looking like it's gonna be it, most likely. Like, this looks pretty clean. It looks like official, like Samsung put this out. So yeah, man, it's kind of unfortunate, like I said many times in this video. But on a side note though, even though it is unfortunate, I do think the Fold 6 will be an elite, really good foldable phone. Probably in my opinion, it's gonna be the best foldable phone until we see what the Pixel Fold 2 looks like, or the OnePlus Open 2 looks like. All the other foldables that are due to come out, I feel like the Fold 6 is still gonna be the best foldable phone, just because the Fold 5 in my eyes is the best foldable phone right now. The Fold 6 is that, but a little bit better. So it's just gonna be better, you know. But what I'm really curious about for the Fold 6 is the ergonomics. Because of the squared edges, that's something that I wasn't a fan of. Now that I see like actual renders of how it looks kind of nice. Like, it looks like, from a aesthetic point of view, it looks pretty cool and nice. But I'm curious about how it's gonna feel in the hands. I use my Fold 5 with no case on, so with the Fold 6, hopefully it doesn't stab my hands. Like the S24 Ultra, that is something that people don't really talk about, but that phone, when I'm using it, it'd be stabbing into my hand, bro. So hopefully the Fold 6 is not like that. I think the Fold 5's ergonomics are pretty good. Pixel Fold has the best foldable ergonomics in my opinion from the North American foldables. I haven't tried the Honor Magic V2 and stuff like that, so maybe those are better. But yeah, I'm curious about the sharp edges of the Fold 6. And the main things I'm keeping my eye on for the Fold 6 and the actual announcement and stuff like that is the ergonomics and the thermal performance. The thermal performance is really important to me because better sustained performance is more valuable in my opinion than like higher clock speeds, higher raw performance numbers, higher percentages. All that stuff is cool, but better like sustained performance is what we actually need. We don't need more power, we need optimization. So I'm hoping that the Fold 6 is more optimized. You know, Samsung pushes developers more. I'm saying all this stuff, but it's super unlikely. You know what it is, but yes, honestly, Samsung, I can understand why people are disappointed. I can understand why a lot of people are annoyed with Samsung. So hopefully surprises, looking unlikely, but that is the Fold 6 and all its sameness. I would say glory, but it's not really glory, I guess. It's, you know, it's basically like what the iPhone 14 series was to the iPhone 13 series. Just, yeah.